What's up, everybody? I'm back. Got another movie review today, and I just got home a few hours ago from watching Elvis, the movie talking about the man himself, released not too long ago, just this year, 2022. I'm gonna give my full in-depth review of it as much as I can. First off, I will say this was a pretty good movie. Overall thoughts about it. The acting I thought was really good. I only recognize one actor in this movie. It's Tom Hanks, plays the Colonel guy, the manager for Elvis. The guy who played Elvis, by the way, phenomenal job. I really enjoyed that. So that was really good. I really enjoyed his character. And I recognize Tom Hanks. I thought the other characters were pretty good too. Some good acting on their part. And now, disclaimer, I'm not the biggest Elvis fan in the world. Like, I didn't grow up there in that time. Obviously, I'm 19. He died like 26 years before I was born, which is crazy to think. But I mean, I know who he is, right? Like, everybody knows who Elvis is, right? And the type of this movie, as far as I know, in like the spectrum of everything, I thought they depicted him pretty well, and I like I gave me a little bit more informative things of his time and about what he's going through. And it basically confirmed that basically what he went through and how he died was a result of just the stress of being a huge pop star, which you can say the same thing for Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, or Prince, or Tom Petty, or literally any other big pop star from like the 70s, 80s, even the 90s, kind of went through. And even today, I mean, they're still going through today. It's not like it's changed. We just haven't seen the real full effects of them yet, getting these new drugs involved. But we're not talking about drugs here. But drugs was a big part of it. It wasn't as big of a part of it as I thought it was going to be, because I know the drugs is eventually what finally killed him. They didn't really touch on that till like near the very end of the movie. I mean, they mention it a couple of times, but it's kind of subtly, not really too informative. Like, you have to know that drugs killed him to really get it, why they there. And luckily, I knew that going in, so I was able to pinpoint that. And then they emphasize a little bit later in the movie. They really touch on his mom and alcoholism. The dad didn't really touch on a whole lot. He survives throughout the whole movie, which I didn't think was actually going to happen. But the mom dies of alcoholism, and they touch on that a lot, and his and her and Elvis's relationship, and that kind of stuff. And then they touch on, but I mean, the divorce. They touched on that, and they touched on the kid, and they touched on the pressures of the management. Basically, everything you see is like a big pop star struggling during that time, with all the fame and the money and the stress and stuff like that, and how they handle it, which was really good. So the acting was really on point. The representation, I'll say, of the time period was also pretty good. Obviously, what I didn't really know until I saw the movie was how big Elvis was for like desegregating, especially like the entertainment music industry. I didn't know he was that big in doing that, and that's really, really cool. But they touched on that a lot, which was really, really nice. They depicted the time period of the 50s with segregation, racism, and all that stuff. I think they did a very good job about that. And then seeing how that evolved going in the 60s, the civil rights movement, in the 70s even. They touched on that. So that was good. I really enjoyed that. All the characters served a purpose, so that was good. Though not really, I mean, they kind of had to. It was a period movie. It was kind of just going to happen in real life. So all the characters in the movie are generally going to have a purpose going in. So, but that was good. Touched on Memphis and Vegas and Graceland a little bit, and even sort of that. I thought they were going to do a little bit more about Graceland. They didn't. But I thought they were going to, especially like him. He died at Graceland, so you think they'd maybe touch on that. No, it kind of ends like he gets on a plane. He's going on this like last big tour sort of thing. It's like 4 years before he died, and then they say, "Oh yeah, he died," and then they touch on his final performance. They don't actually talk about when he actually died, because he died, I think, like a few weeks after that performance. They say 2 weeks, apparently maybe 6 weeks. I don't know. But they touch on that, and then a lot of other fun stuff. There was a couple aspects I didn't like about the movie. One of them was what my mom had a bad depiction of. She thought like there was a hard differentiation between what was actually Elvis and what was the character guy playing Elvis. Because the thing, they do a lot of this in the movie, and this is, I can kind of compare it to the Great Gatsby movie, the 2013 version with Leonardo DiCaprio and Spider-Man in it and stuff like that. And how that one is like has a bunch of montages with like a lot of things going on, and like a little Daisy with some modern music played in like an old-timey fashion, mixes old-timey music and like real life depicted like in the middle of like acting and stuff like that. They do a lot of that in this movie. Some of it's executed okay. They started off with that, and I don't think that was a great way to do it. But, I mean, I kind of was able to blend into it at the end, so maybe it just caught me off guard, and that's why I thought it wasn't such a good start to the movie. So maybe that's why. But there was a couple parts of these, like, montages and stuff. One in particular I will talk about, which was they were doing a montage of Memphis before Elvis really got big. No, it was during when Elvis got big, or, like, right before he got big, like in the 50s and stuff like that. He was in downtown Memphis, and they were talking about, like, they were doing like a montage over Memphis of like the people at downtown and stuff like that, and they touch on the music they played really didn't make sense to me because they were playing modern rap music, kind of mixed in with like the soulful blues music that was sung by the people of like the African American community in Memphis, which they did a really good job of that, by the way, but it really didn't fit. And they do that in the end credits as well. Near the end credits of the movie, they mix in one of Elvis' songs with like rap, things like Eminem or whatever. By the way, I wonder if it's because Eminem dissed Elvis in his 2002 song. I don't even remember what it was called. I don't remember what it was called. But maybe that's why he did it. Probably not, though. That'd be kind of funny. But it'd also be very, very obscure, seeing that song's 20 years old. It's like kind of not even that big part of the song, but whatever. But they do that at the end credits too, which again, it just doesn't really work. But you know, it's only a couple instances, so it's not that bad. But I mean, most of the Elvis references that I just some that didn't get. Some I did, some I did, obviously, but some I didn't get because, so, I mean, if you're more of a big Elvis fan, you'll probably get some more. There was a lot of old people in the theater with us, so that this shows his fan base. I mean, it should be. I mean, he'd be like late 80s today if he was still alive. Like, that's crazy. But so, you know, if you love Elvis, or you like the history of like some big pop star stuff, and you like these kind of movies, I recommend you go watch it. I thought it was a really good movie. I'm gonna give it a 7. I'll give it a 7. And there's a good rating for it. But overall, I thought it was a very solid movie. A lot of good stuff in it. I recommend going watching it. They're doing a similar one, but about Whitney Houston, that's coming out later this year. I might go see that. I might not. Haven't quite decided yet. There's a few movies that I'm like on the fence. Should I go see them or should I not? Is it going to be worth it? Will anybody go with me? Kind of thinking about that. But that's going to do it for this movie review. Stay tuned for much more of these as you do more movie marathons or go see some in the theaters and stuff like that. I got a bunch ready to go, and also will be coming eventually. So stay tuned for those, and stay tuned for much more amazing content. Got a lot of stuff coming out, so stay tuned. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye.